So I want to talk about inland PETG plastic. I'm doing this on a Bambu P1S. So if you are curious or using this branded plastic with whatever the bamboo, you can use these settings. I've finally toned in my settings to be perfect, or semi-perfect, at least sellable quality. So this was my first try at doing it. I was doing this, I believe, on 240 odd degrees for the filament head, and you can see there's tons of this. Well, how I can describe this is it's trying to print on the layer below it, but then it pulls the already extruded plastic with it as it keeps going down, and then finally it catches and it stays. So it's not hot enough to melt it and melt the layer below it for them to fuse, and it pulls it along. So that's at least the best way I can describe this. I'm pretty sure I'm like 95% accurate on that. Of course, it might be a couple other issues like ghosting, but that is probably not ghosting because this is pretty sturdy. I have it set up so that box is like making it so it's sturdy. But yeah, that's basically what this is. So that was on the recommended settings with the inland plastic, which is like 220 to 240. But you got to realize, Bambu printers print at double the speed basically. So with that in mind, you have to make it so it's hotter because it needs to be able to heat the previous layer in order to do that. So I raised this to 250, I think, or so degrees. Or maybe I think I tried to just max it at 240, not the low of 220. And then it got pretty good. You can still see, I kind of bumped off some of the plastic that was out of the way of it because I might actually sell this as a used part or like a defect, like a half price. So this one, like, it has, just like all that skipping going on there. And I think it has some bubbling / skipping on the inside. It looks like bubbling, but it's actually skipping and pulling along the plastic. I guess that's how you can best describe it. And it does it on the same parts on both sides because that's the direction. I think it prints this way and it skips that way and it goes all the way around printing that way. It's skipping, so it's always hitting this side bad. So I got that iteration that was 240 degrees low on the nozzle head. Then here's the final iteration. I think I might actually do another iteration where it's a slightly bit higher because you can see there's still a slight bit, barely noticeable, but there's a slight bit there that is like skipping. This is sellable. I think this is sellable new. At least this is my opinion. Some people might say that has to be perfect, but guess what? 3D printing isn't almost never perfect. Like, you basically won't be selling any products and you'll be losing money. So this is one of my final products. It took me 1, 2, 3 iterations. These prints specifically are about $2.80 of plastic a piece or so, I think. It took about, hopefully with this video, people can save themselves close to $5 to $10 of plastic if they're printing these big of things. Because this problem only existed when it got higher up and the temperature needed to be hotter while it was higher up. The bases were actually pretty good. There's actually a couple other pieces in there that I had bad stuff on. Actually, I guess it took me 3 prints because that one's a bad one too. So I guess it took me 1, 2, 3 bad prints before I got final quality. But yeah, that's that. So let's go to the settings really quick. This is probably what people really wanted. I just wanted to show the quality. So these are my filament settings. I actually, other than this number, this is 270. So I'm printing now at 270 degrees. So this was printed at 270. I'm gonna change it by 1. I just want to see if like that 1 degree difference might help that skipping less. See if tone it in. So my first layer I am printing at 255. It's not that bad. And then other layers is gonna be 271, and that's doing pretty good. These are all defaults to at least I think what the Bambu wanted for other defaults. Like 240, 270, that's kind of like recommended, but the printer seems to actually use this one instead. If we go to the setting board over here, you can see it's using 270 right now at 70 degrees. So that's what it's actually using while printing. So yeah, these are the settings. I'm gonna see about making in the future maybe a website where I put my settings on here so people can save time and everything with what plastics I'm using. That way people can save time. You can pause right here if you want to look at these settings. These are all defaults, I believe. Actually, no, they're not all defaults. I think I switched keep fan always on as check or something like that. I think I did some of those fan settings. But these are not all defaults. I don't use any of this stuff, overrides, and that's like the G-code stuff. I don't think you guys need that. But yeah, that's the main things that are differences on this. I have not changed this. I'm trying to keep it full speed because, if I'm printing these, I need to print them in a timely fashion that I'll actually be able to, make a profit on it and not you know, waste all my time just printing 1 box a day. I need to print 4 boxes a day at least to make it worth it, or else it's just not, it's not a business that I can keep going. But hopefully this helps out somebody. If it has, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all later.